Are we on?
We are on, yes.
Oh, hi. Sorry. Let's start with a little video.
That's
Oh my
okay.
God. Here you
Well, that was
go.
fun. Wish I
Here
could
we
be
go.
there right
Hi,
now.
everyone. Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
everyone.
I'm
Welcome.
seeing you the star. Go for it.
Okay, so we're chatting with Cindy from Norwegian Cruise Lines today. For anyone that doesn't know me or just tuning in, my name is Ainsley. I'm from Destinations Travel Agency, and I specialize in groups, cruises, honeymoons, and destination weddings. So, what we're going to be chatting with today is a little bit about Norwegian, what's different about them, a little bit of stuff that they have going on right now, some promotions, and then why you would book with them. Cindy, if you want to just maybe go over a little bit of a background about yourself and how long you've been in the industry and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Ansley. And hi, everyone. Hi, welcome to this video. So, yes, indeed, we work together with Ansley. So, Ansley is here to take good care of you on every day. And I am a little bit actually on the backstage working with her to ensure you have your dream vacation comes through. So, my name is Cindy Girard. I am Business Development Manager for Norwegian Cruise Line. So, basically, my role within Norwegian is actually to ensure that we connect, we communicate with all the travel partners like Ensley to be
Yep,
sure that you have the right offer, the right service. And I am basically our favorite, not favorite, our preferred contact at Norwegian in case she needs anything. She has,
it's
as a
true.
travel partner, she has a dedicated contact in case she has any questions. So, of course, that ensures that she has a faster answer to provide you, and of course, in the end of the day, hey, you just have nothing else to do but thinking about your vacation. So Ainsley
It's true.
actually thought about me to have this video together today, so we could basically talk a little bit more about what we do Norwegian, where we are different, right? Especially if you've never been on a cruise, that's maybe one of the questions you may ask yourself. To be honest, even myself, a few years back, before I worked for a cruise line, I thought all the cruise lines were the same and they were pretty much like Love Boat. You remember this TV show on Slay from the 70s, 80s?
Yeah, it's
That's
not like that anymore. So,
here you go. That's really, really not like that anymore. So that's why actually I've been baffled on my first cruise. It was really not all those cliches I had in my mind. It's really not like that. It's a lot of fun. It's so much better than just going and staying in one hotel because basically your hotel is traveling at night when you sleep and you wake up in a new destination every day, which is amazing.
yep,
And just like a resort, our ship's going to be a little different from one to another. So you may find different activities, different restaurants, different itineraries, of course. And we're going to speak about that today.
yes, yeah. One of the things I actually love about Norwegian, and I've been on a few different cruise lines. Norwegian is one of my favorites, and the reason being is the food is really good. The service standards are just amazing, and I never have any unhappy clients, which in my job is kind of what I'm going for. So
Don't know what you're talking about.
now that's more important to me than me actually enjoying the vacation. So
That's true. Thank you. That's where the experience of Hensley
yeah.
is going to help you as well. Indeed, I cannot disagree on the food point. We have amazing food
And I have to
options.
say, anyone that's hesitant on taking a cruise no longer is hesitant. Anytime, I say, I think the cruise is right for you, we book them, especially if it is with Norwegian. I never have anyone say, I hated that cruise. I'm never going back again. And they always say, when can I go again and how?
That's
Always.
exactly what I hear. That's exactly what I hear. And for example, one of the advantage compared to one hotel is that you can book us years in advance. For example,
Yeah.
right now we have itineraries open up to 2023. So let's
That's a
break
while
it.
away from now. Yeah.
Yeah, let's break it. I know right now there might be some concerns all over the world. Let's break it. But that's the great thing with us is that, for example, to secure a booking, we don't ask you to pay completely upfront if you are more than 4 months before travel. You would just have to pay a deposit that is entirely refundable up to the final payment due date,
Yep.
which is for a standard 7-day cruise, 120 days before sailing. So
That's
if you book
very
now,
good.
that's awesome.
Yep.
And if you book now for 2023, you would just have to pay a $250 US deposit. Sometimes we even have promotion where it's $50,
Yep.
sometimes just one deposit instead of two for two people. It's
Yep.
just awesome. So basically you can have a great offer, and Ensley is going to be amazing at helping you to select the right offer for you. Secure it now, secure your space, because believe me, I don't know for you guys, but I've been confined for a few weeks now. I just cannot wait to go back on
Going a little
vacation.
stir crazy. Yeah, I hear you. Well, and the
So I
great thing
suggest we
about
start.
and the
Oh
great thing
yeah,
about the deposits being refundable too is people don't have to worry about any risk, right? You can book something, feel excited that you're going to be going on a vacation at some point, see the light at the end of the tunnel, know that it's going to be happening. And then for some reason, if this is still going on or you just don't feel comfortable, you just cancel and the deposit goes back. So that's something that I
exactly.
love that Norwegian's doing. That's, a huge advantage that you guys have in the business for sure.
Exactly. This is flexibility, right? I mean, when you think vacation, you should never think about stress or pressure. That's the idea.
No, should be happy.
All right. So I suggest we start to talk a
Sure.
little
Yeah.
bit about
One more thing I did want to
Norwegian.
mention, sorry, Cindy.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who is watching, either they're watching live or they're watching the video later, it doesn't matter. If you tag a friend that you think would be interested, so you comment in the comment section. If you tag a friend, then I will be giving a $25 gift certificate for your friend and yourself towards your next cruise vacation. So tag whoever you like, however many
Wow.
people you like. Yeah. So let's get more
That's an
excited to go
awesome.
somewhere.
That's awesome. So I think we start very well here.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? So that's something that your travel agent is going to do for you. For example, that's amazing. Tag one friend. If they book, they have $25. If you book, you have $25.
Yeah.
Everybody wins here.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, and say this is amazing. So here, where I wanted to start, when I tend to present Norwegian to actually our guests, even if they are coming back, or if you never heard of this before, which is fine. It's about our destinations, because usually when I go on a cruise, the first thing I'm going to look at is the itinerary. The itinerary on in a week, you can imagine that you could visit not only like cities, but literally countries. In 7 days, you can have like maybe the average is 4 different destinations, but sometimes you even have
Yeah.
more. So that's important, I think, to start here by saying that Norwegian, the great news, we are everywhere in the world. We have 17 ships total. So basically, about the size right now, they are between 2,000 passengers, which is roughly 1,000 cabins, or they would be slightly bigger to 4,000 passengers, which would be 2,000 cabins. But you don't feel like in normal resort, because yes, we are on the ship and there's all those
Lots of
decks,
places
sorry,
to go though,
enable.
yeah.
Pardon?
Lots of places that you can go on the ship. It's not so So fun.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
so this is like a big chateau. I'm from France. I had to say it. So it's like you have different aisles, different places where to go, but you never feel completely. Here you don't have to walk 3 miles to go to your restaurants. That's the big advantage. And once again, they travel for you
Yep.
at night when you sleep. So we go to more than 450 ports in the
Wow.
world.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And
Absolutely.
we basically are going to divide our destinations within 16 regions that you can see now on the screen. So the idea is, especially for a cruise where it's fantastic, it's when you want to have a first look approach to some destinations. I mean, myself, I would love to visit one maybe single country for a month and then jump to the next one. But unfortunately, I was not born under that star, so I
Yeah.
need to work as well. So the idea is, however, I love traveling and I love to see, explore as much as I can in the minimum of time that I have. This is why cruise is amazing for that. So you can visit a few countries and maybe decide, you know what, out of those 5 destinations, they were all amazing. Those I've seen in a week, but I want to explore more about that one. For example, in 1 week in Mediterranean, you could have like Greece, Turkey, Italy, for example, Cyprus,
That's my
Jordan.
dream.
Here you go. So you could have a stop for the day, a full day usually, when you can explore, have excursions, and then at least you're going to have in your bucket list, the must see, the must do. They're going to be ticked in your bucket list. But eventually, if you really had a crush with that destinations, nothing's against coming back later, and that's the amazing thing you can do with a cruise. With us, you can do from very short trip, like 3 days, literally a weekend. Most of them would be operated from Miami, for example, or East Coast or West Coast, Los Angeles, or to what we call extraordinary journeys. So they can go up to more than 3 weeks if you have more time. So that's lots of flexibility here. So just a few highlights on our destination. So I said 450 ports. I won't start by doing the 450. However, there are some destinations that we particularly love because we do there the things a little bit different from the others. First, Alaska. Guys, this is on your bucket list. This is, I believe, on everyone's bucket list.
Yeah.
This is about adventure, but about sightseeing, the wow effect. And let's face it, when you go to some destinations like Alaska, there's no roads everywhere. There are some places you have no choice. They are accessible only with a ship or
I
maybe with a helicopter.
attest to that because I tried to take a car there and I got lost. And I actually got stuck on Juneau Island just going around the same loop. So I can attest to the fact that you cannot go everywhere in a car when you go to Alaska.
That's indeed another risk to it when you go a little bit into the wild. Here you are in the wild. You are in the heart of the wild, but you are absolutely secure. We go with you, for you, no worry. And we sell, of course, during the nice season. We don't want you to catch a cold, so we
And
go there from April to October.
sorry, just a question, Cindy.
Yes.
What times of the year, so everyone watching knows, can you go to Alaska? That's usually a common question that I get.
Absolutely. So that's usually from April to October. That's when we tend to go. Summer is the most beautiful season to go,
Yep.
obviously. But that's still very agreeable on the rest of the year, from April to October. We actually sell from three departure ports, which would be Seattle, Vancouver, and Seward if you want to fly up there.
Yep.
So this is where we go. The difference for us, not only our itineraries are amazing, you can even purchase a tour with a pre-stay, post-stay if you want to explore more within the lands. And our ships, some of our ships, they are called Joy, they are called Anchor or Bliss. They have been built in the last couple of years. They are brand new, and they have
Oh,
been built
wow.
to explore Alaska. You have something amazing called the observation desk. So imagine wherever you are sitting now, at home maybe, or somewhere else, just like imagine all the walls in your room collapse, and instead you have only floor to ceiling windows, and outside, instead of maybe your
Whoa.
garden, you just have the beauties of Alaska. That's what it is. And I
Yeah.
had the chance to go there on several occasions. And my favorite time is actually the very early morning. There's nobody there because most of our passengers sleep, I have to say. Fair enough, fair enough. But when you go there for the sunset or the sunrise, the very end of the day or the very beginning,
Yeah.
it's amazing. You can't find better spots. So that's what we do here. As well, we have the good one, Caribbeans.
Of
I
course.
was to say the must do if you're just seeking for sun, a beach, a few cocktails. Don't look any further. So Caribbeans, we go basically in the three main areas of Caribbeans. We have lots of ships going there, and we have 8 departure ports. So we have them mainly from U.S. coast, so from East in particular, so Miami, New Orleans. I've done it with the Norwegian Getaway, and I loved it. I know very well Miami. I've been there a lot, but when I've been to New Orleans, it was the first time for me. It was at Christmas. For I spent my last Christmas actually on the Norwegian Getaway, and I didn't know the
Oh,
city, and I'm just in love with it. For a pre-stay, I stayed there. I arrived 2 days before. I left 2 days after my cruise. What something you can do with us, and basically, I could explore the city. And when I left New Orleans, I was on the Mississippi River, which was just amazing. It was like an
wow.
adventure, like Inception, the movie, an adventure within another adventure. You can leave from New York City, Orlando, but as well, we have 2 other ports, a little bit more interesting as well, like Panama City
Or
or
Miami. That's why I
San
brought my
Juan.
Miami mug today. I must have been thinking
I
you were
would
going to
love
be
to.
talking about it. So,
That would be wonderful. And we are actually leaving from Miami Port, not for Fort Lauderdale, like some other cruise lines do. And believe me, actually, the actual view when you leave the port, it's better to see Miami Beach than that Fort Lauderdale harbor, right, with the containers. But that's just details. But
the
this is what we
Caribbean
are about.
too is a good place for people to start if they haven't cruised before because they're shorter itineraries, right? So you can do the 4 or 5 day ones that can kind of just break you in and see if you like cruising, which you will. You'll get addicted. um, and then you can, branch out and do a little bit longer. 1 week is kind of typical as well if you're doing it for the Caribbean. So yeah, I like that aspect of it. If people are looking for a shorter getaway or if they're just looking to kind of branch out and see if they like cruising, it's a good option for sure.
Absolutely. It's just seeking sun, right? In particular during winter, March break. Us in Canada, we are like, ooh, I
Yeah.
am in Toronto. And so you're not far. I know it. So you know what I'm talking about. And indeed, for a very first good experience, that could be, especially with cruise lines, that could be brilliant. We have from 5 to more than 10 days options for you guys. So obviously it's very, very flexible. So we're going to the 3 main islands, the 3 main regions of Caribbean. We know the famous ABC. We go to West. You can even go. We have 2 private islands actually in this
Oh,
region. One actually in Bahamas. Great Stirrup Key, and we have one in Belize, not far from Caribbean. It's actually usually included in the Caribbean itineraries, and I've been on both, and this is great. It's like having like hotel resorts without the actual hotel, but those are private islands, so it's only for our guests. So
and
this
what
is
can
just
you do
amazing.
on those islands?
So basically, on those islands, you will have a beach, you will have chairs, so you can just relax, of course. But we will have activities, so you can actually plan to have like zip lines, parasail. You can do even like, for example, you have some cabanas that you can rent if you want to have your little house for yourself for the day. That's just brilliant. I love it. You can organize snorkelings, for example. There's tons of different options
Well,
for
and that's
sure.
great too because a lot of my clients get, they kind of have to decide between whether they want to go to an all-inclusive resort because they want the beach, or they have to decide if they want to go on a ship because they don't care about the beach for this vacation. So this way, you don't have to choose.
That's a great
I want
alternative.
to cruise and do both.
Absolutely. So where we're going as well is Europe, my native Europe. Of course, we have amazing itineraries. So all over Europe, southern like Mediterranean itineraries. We go to Northern Europe departures, if you want to see the Baltics, we go up to Russia, St. Petersburg, we stay overnight there. And we have those amazing itineraries where you start from United Kingdom, you go through Iceland, and actually you're traveling back to your destinations, which would be Copenhagen, Amsterdam, and you see almost two countries every day. It's just amazing. I love those itineraries. We have as well, at the moment, a promo. I'm going to speak about it more in details in the end, but free or reduced air. And for example, right now, on many of those ports I mentioned, like Amsterdam, Copenhagen, London, Reykjavik, from Toronto, we have return flights for $499 American dollars,
Wow.
taxes included. It's just amazing. So
for anyone who's watching and doesn't know, flight costs to Europe, that's about half. You're basically paying about roughly half of the cost.
Very good point. Very good point. So that's a great opportunity as well. So Hawaii is the other destination I really wanted to talk about, because that is on everyone's bucket list. I don't know one single person that says, "Oh, Hawaii." No, not really. No, we all want to go to Hawaii.
It is
Hawaii.
online. I haven't been yet, and I like to sell it a lot, so surprisingly. But I would like to go one day.
Hawaii is beautiful. It's like, if you actually want to have an idea of how it looks like, just a little tip. If you have seen Jurassic Park, the actual movie, the first one, this very first scene at the beginning where the helicopter is flying down and you can see a waterfall in the background.
Yep.
So in the movie, they say they're actually in Costa Rica. No, actually, these scenes were shot in Hawaii. So if you want to have a little feeling.
Hasn't seen Jurassic Park?
Yeah,
if you haven't, you should go watch Jurassic Park and then come
oh
back.
my God, I cannot agree more. That's a must see. I love that movie. I love that.
One of the reasons why I want to go to Hawaii, to be honest with you.
That's a very good one. So for example, here Hawaii, we offer the best itinerary on the market right now, because we offer, the main the main islands. You have 7 islands, and most of the ships on most of the cruise lines go to 3 of those islands, and then you have to go by yourself for the remaining ones. Us, we do 4, and we do that on 7 days with 2 overnights. So it means you are every day on the land. That's the great thing.
And you can leave from, does Norwegian leave from Vancouver as well?
Correct. So you have 2 options. So either you would actually leave from Vancouver, but it means actually to have like 3 full days at sea before you actually land into Hawaii, which is awesome actually if you love cruising, because our ships going there, they are just amazing. And if just the itinerary should be a little bit longer, we talk about approximately 10 days. But we have as well departure from Honolulu. So if you're a little bit if your hands are a little bit tight with the timing, you have, like, for example, a week vacation, you fly to Honolulu, and we have prices as well with flights going there. If you have the luck to actually live in Vancouver, guess what? The flights for Honolulu are $0 with us at the moment. 0. It's free, not even taxes.
Wow.
So that's what we wanted to do for you guys. And so you can join Honolulu. it's really big. And then, yes, Honolulu, Vancouver. And even we have this amazing itinerary. It's 15 days. Papiti, so which is in Tahiti, French Islands. And you can do a combo, Tahiti, Hawaii as well, which is amazing. We've been voted the best Hawaii itinerary for 14 years, and there's a reason for it. Definitely have a look to the promotions we have.
And one of the things that I think people don't realize with Hawaii as well is it's obviously a very popular honeymoon spot. And since I do specialize in honeymoons, I get a lot of inquiries for Hawaii. A thing that people don't realize as well is to get to all these islands is very expensive. So, and also to stay in Hawaii is also very expensive. There's accommodations there that are $400, $500, $600 a night. If you're on a cruise, you don't have to worry about that. You go to the port, you go to for the day or 2 that you want to the island that you want to go to, and then you get back on the ship. So if you were to do it the other way around, it would actually be quite a bit more expensive.
And we even want to bring this experience in Hawaii. You know, you have actually some active volcanoes. They're still actually
Mhm.
awakened right now. So you have lavas, streams all day long at night as well. And sometimes what we do, if we can, it depends actually, because the streams of lavas can take some direction on one day and some other directions on another day. But if we can, if the ship actually pass next to those coasts during the nighttime and we can see the lava, we actually like switch off the lights on the ship, so you can actually that you have to imagine that it's like at night and you just see the lavas. It's absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
So next one we have introduced this year is what we call extraordinary journeys. So those actually with those destinations like really out of beaten tracks, out of the classic vacation, and typically they would be longer itineraries like 9 days and more. But we talk about Alaska still, but we have Africa, Asia, Europe, and we have introduced this year Antarctica. You would get them actually from January
Oh,
next year. This one, I wanted to do it so much. It's the same than Hawaii. It's the same than Hawaii. It's the same than Alaska. You cannot go by yourself, or it would be very,
yeah.
very difficult. Here, you're just taken care of from the beginning to the end. So, yeah, have a look to those itineraries. They are just amazing. And don't forget, of course, that the great thing with a cruise is that every day a new destination, and as well, you can go by yourself exploring the city. Absolutely up
Yep.
to you. But if you would like to have a plan already settled in advance, we offer some excursions, of course, in each and every destination. So we can be sure that you're going to enjoy the destinations at the best. If you just want to stay on the ship and chill and enjoy the swimming pool, the spa, the bar, of course, you should just so.
And the great thing
Oh,
about the excursions, I just want to kind of branch off of Cindy, is if you do the excursions with Norwegian, you're guaranteed to get back at the boat at the time that you need to get back at the boat, because if you're not back at the time that the boat's going to leave, it's just going to leave. So if
yeah.
you take the risk, if you take the risk of just, winging it, getting off and taking an excursion when you get there, that's fine. That's up to you. That's your choice. But, obviously you kind of want to make sure you get back to the boat. So that's one benefit of doing the excursions with Norwegian.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a very good point, honestly. Right now, let me talk about the freestyle experience because this is our signature. This is where how Norwegian is different from the other cruise lines. Actually, there's something with cruise lines for a very, very long time. Cruise ships tended to be actually smaller than what they are today, with limited capacity for dining in particular. So this is why maybe you are an experienced cruiser, or maybe you've never been there, but you may have heard that guests used to have assigned dining time and an actual table every
Yep.
single day,
I
and
remember
that
that.
still happens. And actually, it's still happening with some other cruise lines even
Yep.
today. I have experienced that. It might be for you, it might be not. But if it's not, believe me, it would make a whole bunch of difference. For me, I'm not like that because even myself at home, for example, I never eat at the same time. I don't know when I'm going to be hungry, and I tend to eat
That's
when
true.
I am hungry.
Plus, if
And
you're on an excursion, I mean, who's to say exactly when you're going to get back, right? So,
absolutely. Or you just may want to have a nap when you're back from your excursion and
yep.
you don't want on your vacation to be on a schedule. So that's why we have decided to be a little bit different from the other years by saying we have built and enlarged our ships in a way that we have enough dining options. We have up to 26 dining options for the biggest ship. So our guests naturally are going to spread all over the ship, and then you don't have to pre-book, you don't have to wait in line, and you don't need to have an assigned table. Because if we assign you on a table, even though you are a couple, well, you could actually find yourself with a table of 10 people you don't know,
Yep.
which can be a little bit kind of awkward. It can be great, and don't mistake, don't mistake me, but it can be awkward. Myself, I have experienced that in the past with some other cruise lines, and I was on the awkward side. So that's why, to me, it makes a world difference. The same freestyle, some of the cruise lines require you to be dressed in a certain way, especially when you go for dining. So for
Yep.
us, we don't do that. So basically, the same clothes that you would put in your luggage for any all-inclusive resorts in the south, you can bring them on board. Flip-flops, it's fine. It might be some couple of places on the ship restaurants where we would ask maybe like to have shirts, long pants, but pretty much that's it, right? Of course, maybe don't come like just with your swimsuit on. That would be a little bit
Yeah.
odd. We don't do that. But yeah, you
Yeah.
can go with shorts. Gentlemen, if you don't want to wear a tie, you don't have to. On the other end, if you don't want it because you like to look fancy for your ladies at night, you can. Ladies, that's the same. If you want to have the fancy night gown, you can absolutely do it. But if you want to go just like the way you are on vacation, this is fine. And that's where we're going to be different. We have, as I said, up to 26 dining options. And on the ships, you will see all over the places, we have screens. Like during the day, you will have actually time slots available and you will see color code. So when, for example, you see for tonight, 9 o'clock at the French restaurant, it might be green, which means plenty of space left because some people may choose to book, for example, the special restaurants. I'm going to speak about it. If
Yeah.
it tends to go to orange, then it means it starts to be limited. If it's red, there's still possibility for last minute cancellation, which is definitely worth it for sometimes to wait. But that's how you will know if you have to make a decision or not. Flexibility, right?
Yep.
So with us, basically get dressed up or go casual. This is your choice. As what you can see on the screen, we have changed the way restaurants used to be the ship. Most of them used to be inside, and we still actually have some dining rooms inside. But
Yep.
the way we have changed, especially on new ships, when we could build them with this on this new model, the outside that used to be only for walking, to be honest, now we have decided to open part of them for bars and restaurants. So you can actually have your dining, your dinners, your
For the
drinks
breeze.
in the breeze, watching the
Yeah.
sea, and that's just beautiful. So as well, so we have two ways, two kind of dinings on board. So with every single cruise you're going to buy with us, you're going to have complimentary dining guaranteed, right? So some
Yep.
places, some restaurants, main dining rooms, buffet, we even have like pub like, they're open 24 hours a day with actually free eating options, the best wings at sea. Don't look further. This is on this is with us. I think I had like 48 of those on the day one on my last cruise. And they are truly for free. There's room service that may come at a cost, but you have plenty of ways. So the buffet would be open at least straight away as soon as you board the ship on day one, and it's going to be the last thing to be open actually on the day of departure, so you can enjoy your food all the time. So you have inside, outdoor options as well next to the swimming pool, for example. Um, but we have as well, so you can, for example, have a package including specialty dining. So those restaurants tend to be smaller because that's the purpose of it. We want to offer an experience that's going to be higher, like a real culinary experience. Don't mistaken me. It's like the complimentary options are amazing already. Menus are changing. You will have all the
Yep.
classic, less classics. They are fantastic. But you may want to go a little bit more fancy for one day or have just a special. Do you want to eat French? Do you want to eat Italian, Mexican? Do you want to have Brazilian barbecue? I've done it. I love that. In Toronto, I go
The
all the
French
time.
one's my favorite. The French one's really good.
Oh my God. And you know what? As a French, I swear, that's a little thing I tend to suffer in North America, finding my French food. And actually, I can tell you, I was on the ship. Last time it was in the Encore for the inaugural in November. I felt I was in a real French restaurant. I had a rack of lamb, best of my life.
Yeah.
Ah, that was it. Should I even start on the cheese? So whatever your taste like, you can actually book those restaurants. You
And that's
can.
something that people, my clients always ask me too, is they don't understand the concept of the specialty dining because they just hear it and they think that it's an extra cost, and that's just not true. So on a cruise, you are being fed. The food is inclusive.
Yes.
That's kind of the one myth that I wanted to
Yes.
touch on. Yeah.
Absolutely. And actually, if you've been to an all-inclusive resort, the classic one, like in Mexico, whatever, it happens very often they do the same. You have the all-inclusive food a little bit all over, but they may have a couple of places that come at an extra cost.
Yeah,
Like
or bottles of
typically
wine
the
and stuff.
Japanese restaurant, maybe French. That's the same.
Yeah.
So those specialty dining, you can pre-book them, or you can the same flexibility, wait to be on the ship to actually book them. You can go a la carte, or some of them, like the barbecue, for example, they have a fixed price. And if you want actually to experience it at the best, you can actually pre-purchase a package, for example, with 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, dining. In the end of the day, you have the choices of the set menu is going to be whatever, basically actually starters, entrees, and desserts, and then whatever the cost a la carte. That's your set. You have actually a package.
Yeah.
Those packages can even be included in our prices. So that I'm going to speak about it in just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Ashley? Oh, no, you're good. So the next thing I wanted to speak about, because I know that eating on a cruise ship is a huge activity. It takes a lot of your time, but you have others as well. Especially some days you might be at sea, right? While we're traveling from a point A to a point B. So depending on the ships, you're going to have lots and lots of things to do. On board, our clients, they are from babies, toddlers, to actually elderly, relaxed people. We have retired people. We have families. We have young kids, teenagers, honeymoons, a lot of honeymoons. So any
Mhm.
kind of clients is welcome on board, and we'll find something to do depending on your taste. If you are active, if you are relaxed, you're going to find something. And this picture is right now is absolutely true. This is actually a racetrack we have on 3 of our ships so far, where you can go 50 kilometers an hour. Yes, that's just crazy. So imagine this experience. You can even take pictures. We have actually on the Encore, there's even this fun thing where your family can watch you when you actually are having fun on the go-kart, and they have this kind of little box, and they press a button, and it's going to give a boost to your car when you don't expect it. So it's a
Oh.
lot of fun. It's a very sharing moment. We have aqua parks, we have racetracks, laser tags, virtual realities, like a little bit like paintball, but without actually the dirt of the
Yeah.
paint. We have sport complex, we have fitness centers, we have
And
plenty of
water
options.
slides that just drop you.
Oh my God, this is
You're
amazing.
just
This
sitting
is
there
like,
and then you just get
you
dropped,
have loops above the seats. It's incredible.
whether you're expecting it or
Uh,
not.
you have more relaxing activities if you wish, if you're not the adrenaline type. So you have casino, you have spa, you have bars, lounge if you just want to chill or just have a book on the waterfront. The sofas. I was sure where there was the restaurants outdoor or the bars, we have sofas. They're available all the time. You can just chill there with a book and your drink. We have kids activities and program for kids from 6 months old to 17 years old. So there's going to be 3 main programs depending of the age, and that will enable you parents to have free time. And don't tell me you don't want that on vacation. And your kids as well, remember that they all are usually very sociable and they want to make new friends during their vacation,
It's
right?
true. And, having kids myself, I love my kids, but, I would like to sit in a beach chair and not have to worry about them for a little bit of time.
Exactly, exactly.
It's not
So
that you're
this is
neglecting them, you just want a bit of time for yourself. And is the Splash Academy, is that included in the cost of the cruise?
absolutely all the kids programs are included, and you have qualified people to
That's
look after
great.
your kids. The only thing to bear in mind is for the very first one, Goopies, which is actually for toddlers from 6 months old to 3 years old.
Mhm.
We require parents to be here for supervision, but that's it.
Yeah.
From 3 to 17, freestyle. You can leave them behind during the day.
Yeah.
As well for everybody, the whole family, we have entertainment. So these are provided. So we have, for example, you have Jersey Boy here, but we have Broadway shows. Those that we have Footloose, we have Kinky Boots. I love that shows. So those usually, if you go to the theater next to you, it's going to cost you like easily $100, $200. Here it's free, and that's the real shows, right? We have even some homemade productions, amazing. So most of them are free, but you may have as well like dinner show. So those might come with an extra cost, but like I've been on the getaway, I've been with the actual circus dinner show. So that was a lot of fun, lot of fun. Entertainment as well. So we have live music, comedy clubs, theme parties. If you are single, if you are into the 80s, we have as well the glow party, very famous, where you dressed in white and actually you have the black lights. And even on some ships, we have those the black light painting when you can splash each other with it. It's of course it's
I've
absolutely
done that.
secured
That's
for the
a lot
clothes.
of fun.
Isn't it fun?
It is fun.
Really. We even have like silent discos on some ships, when you have actually your own headphones and you choose your own music and you are just like in a club, like it's a lot of fun. Then regarding accommodations, we have all types of accommodations and budgets. So typically the most affordable would be what we call inside cabin. So this is actually inside, as it says, perfect if you're on a budget and or you plan to spend a lot of time out of the cabin, right? That's the perfect. Then you go to ocean view. So when you have a window, then you can go to balcony. We have suites and something called the haven as well. I'm going to go to that in a second. We have intermediary as well, accommodation, suites, and penthouses, where you can have within the same suite a few different rooms. So it could be like an apartment, a condos. So this is fantastic if you actually go with a family or a party of friends, because in the end of the day, believe me, price difference might, it depends, of course, on the date of sailings, etc. But price difference might not be as huge as you could think, and that could be a great option to go a little bit upscale for a minimal cost. So to have an idea how the cabins look like, so here you have, for example, the inside cabins, balcony, ocean view here, and we have on some of our ships as well what we call the studio. So studio, they has been designed for solo travelers. You don't have to wait for your friends or your family to
Yep,
decide.
which is great. Yeah.
They are fantastic. They are all inside and all located in the same area, and they are all accessible only with a key card. And this key card gives you exclusive access as well to a lounge that is only for solo travelers. Don't mistaken me. It's not a Tinder at sea, right? It's solo doesn't mean single, right? If you want,
Or it could
that's
be
fine.
if you want it to be. Yeah.
Freestyle, but it's primarily for solo travelers that actually are still, either you want to stay really on your own and that's your choice, but sometimes you would love actually to get social. You don't want to wait on your friend's family, but you want to go to vacation, right? But you
Or
would like
even if
to meet new
you're
people.
not traveling alone and you're traveling with your family, but you're single, you don't want to be in a room with a bunch of couples, right? So,
Absolutely.
get your
Or
own
you could have,
room. It's a better
you
rate
could
for you, and yeah.
Absolutely. You could have as well, you could travel with your families and you may have actually like big teenagers, right? Maybe like 17, 18, 20 years old. They don't want to share the cabin with the parents either. So that's a way to be more secured and they can actually meet. It's easier. We have this kind of boards in the lounge when you can drop message saying, you know what? My name is Cindy. I'm 36. I'm from Toronto. I have planned to go on an excursion tomorrow at 1 p.m. to visit Cozumel. Would you like to join me for the day? Let's meet here at 12:30. That's the kind of thing that can happen. And you have free food for the day. The pound cake is one of my favorites. So now just a little aparté on the Haven. So Haven is actually like a ship within the ship. So this is, you can look at here on this picture. So usually it's the top decks. And this is an exclusive areas that you can get access only with your key card, where you can expect the top service of the luxury at sea. Just to basically give you a little overview of what's happening today in the cruise world. We have what we call contemporary markets and we have luxury markets. So the contemporary ships, like where Norwegian is located, it's, to make things simple, the big ships, right? So they're quite big. The prices are usually the one you can see a little bit everywhere, right? The cheapest prices on the cruise lines, and they are for everybody, families, etc. Lots of activities on boards because we have big ships. Then you have luxury. Luxury, it tends to be smaller ships with less activities. And as well, you may have, let's face it, a clientele that may be a little bit more elderly. So if you're a family and maybe you are used to go usually to hotels like Hyatt, Marriott, those kind of luxury like Ritz, Four Seasons, you would maybe love to go on a cruise, but you're a little bit scared because you may have actually some little kids. So you're like, if I go on an actual luxury ship, will they have fun? Will you have fun? Because maybe yourself, you are looking at going to the show, to the
Yep.
casino, etc. Here, this is the alternative for you because I see that as a chic suburb of a city. So that's great. You will have luxury, the top of the luxury, penthouses, your own concierge, your own butlers, exclusive benefits. You would have as well upscale restaurants, your private lounge, everything private. You understand it. You can stay there for your whole cruise, no problem. But if you want, you can go downtown. You can go to the casino. You can go to the swimming pool. Your kids, they can enjoy the kids program. That's that's what the Haven is all about. So you have even like this patio where you can see actually this ceiling here made of windows. We can open it. It's just amazing. And once again, it's only with a key card access. So
And
you would
it's
have
great for
specific.
honeymooners as well because it allows you to go to, all the ports and do the itineraries that all the big ships would do that are not, labeled luxury, but then still be in your own secluded part. You can, just be with your new spouse in your, little wrapped in world in the Haven. To give you an example, also, it's so exclusive that I went on a Norwegian cruise with a bunch of other travel agents and we wanted to see the Haven just to be able to see it, take pictures of it. And it's so exclusive that they wouldn't even let a bunch of travel agents in. They wouldn't even let us see it because it was
Yes.
so, people pay to be there and they pay for the luxury that they didn't want us to bother them. Not that we would have, but it wasn't even allowed. So it's really exclusive.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like actually, to be honest, even if you're an insider Haven, you are our guest. So we want your experience to be at the best. Obviously, if you pay for luxury services, that's the minimum you want to get, right? So indeed, sometimes we don't even have to say no to travel agents, even to visit, because we're like maybe we do have some guests at this time in those sections,
Hmm.
and we don't want them. I was talking about the observation lounge a little bit earlier. So you would get an exclusive one for the Haven, but technically the concept you see here on this picture is the same. You would get one actually for all the passengers with those floor to ceiling windows. So that's why you can enjoy. In Alaska, that's perfect because if it's a little bit of a chilly day, you can still actually stay inside and have the most amazing views.
Yeah.
So just an idea for the accommodation. So that's the kind of things we do. So of course the cabins would be slightly bigger, as you can expect. You may have some penthouse. You can have a living room, dining room, even some with, as I said, 2, 3 bedrooms separate, like an apartment. So those are amazing. You would have actually exclusive benefits as well. So like priority embarkations, sparkling wine upon arrival, lots and lots of things for you, of course. So the Haven is available, just for information, on 11 of our 17 ships.
And just to clarify as well, there's no children allowed in the Haven. So it's an adult only section of the ship. So,
Not necessarily, to be honest. No, not
oh, really?
necessarily. You can no, you can have families,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's the maybe the Vibe Beach Club you were thinking about. But
Oh,
to be
maybe.
honest,
Yeah.
due to the nature of the Haven being luxury, we have to say that most of the clients would be very likely to be couples or adults. This is correct.
Okay.
But technically,
Well,
no.
listen to
We
Cindy.
have,
Don't listen to me then.
but you don't have a lot. No worry.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so this is just an overview of our fleet. So I don't ask you, of course, to remember all the names. Oh, everything I wanted to highlight is that all of our ships have been refurbished in the past couple of years. The oldest, I would say, refurbishment was actually the Pride of America 2015, but that it's going on to dry. She's going on to dry dock soon, and if not completely built brand new in the last couple of years, as you can see, actually for those last three. We have as well some new ships coming up. We plan from 2022. Maybe we will now reschedule, but a new class very, very soon. More ships, more choices, right? So if you didn't know as well, and we're extremely proud of that, in Norwegian, we invest in lots and lots of things, including one program we call Sail and Sustain. So Sail and Sustain, this is basically how to to protect better the environment, and like by, for example, limiting the waste, enhancing the recycling, become self-conscious about fuel, energy efficiency, water, etc. One of the last example we did, just to give you an example, we became in the beginning of the year, in January, officially the very first cruise line entirely plastic bottle free. You
That's
won't find
great.
any plastic bottle. So we
Great.
partner with this brand that is called Just Water. So this is recycled paper bottles, so you can find them now on the ship. No straws as well. So we have on some ships, for example, Starbucks, and it's true for why we used to have some straws there. They are no longer straws. And even if you would find a couple of plastic cups, in particular, I'm thinking about the outdoor bars, those we can recycle them, right? So we are conscious about it. Now, a few words about the promotion. So, if you want to talk, once again, the idea is to customize entirely your vacation. So, there's lots of options for you. So, for example, we talk about complimentary, sorry, dining and dining, specialty dining. I'm sorry, I'm going to manage to do it because that's what you can do. You can just buy your cruise on its own and you would get all the complimentary dining, but that's it. There would not be any extra, but maybe you don't need them. Those extras, typically, they would be a beverage package, like you would be literally like an all-inclusive resort at sea. We have all the best brands of liquors, and that includes all the drinks by the glass, up to $15 USD, which is pretty much everything we have on the menu, but the fancy
Yeah.
champagnes and fancy wines, right? And truly unlimited, right? If you start sleeping on the floor, we may ask you to, hey, hold on, but that's really, really unlimited. And as I said, that's the real brands. This is not the local liquors you may find sometimes in the south.
And that's
So
usually
that would be
why I end up selling a lot of Norwegian is because people want it to be like an all-inclusive resort. And if the drinks are not included, it can become very pricey if you're someone who does like to
that's
have a lot of
correct.
drinks, right? Which
That's
is like a lot
correct.
of people on vacation, so don't feel bad. I would
Absolutely.
too.
Oh my God. And that's party on board. And
Yeah.
it once again it depends on who you are. For example, myself, I'm not a drinker. I love my cocktails sometimes, but I'm
Mhm.
typically not somebody who's going to drink in a day. Eating, yes. The specialty dining, oh my God, yes, I'm gonna go for it. But so I may go a la carte, but if you like your drinks, if you like your beer, your wine during your vacation, go for it. So beverage package is an option. There's free specialty dining that is an option. You may have some you want to explore. So why not having excursions credit included in your offer? Why not third and fourth passengers, the kids, for free as well? So you would have basically two options. Either you would actually purchase the cruise only, and you would get, of course, everything that is complimentary included. But that's limited to it. And then you would go a la carte, and then you would get an onboard account, a little bit like in a hotel. And as you purchase things, drinks, or extra dining, if you purchase an excursion on board, they would be added to that account. Or you can go just, hey, hands in the pocket. You can buy a package. It's called Free at Sea, where depending of your cabin category, you would get one, two, or all those options I just mentioned included. So that's
Mhm.
just awesome because in this case, you don't need to think about paying, signing every time you do. You just call your waiter and say, I want to have two cocktails. That's fine. You don't need to pay for anything extra. You
Yeah.
know exactly where you're going to stand at the beginning of the cruise, which is amazing.
And how
And
much you're gonna be paying, which
absolutely.
is key.
So in addition to that, we have promotions, limited time with great value. Remember, as I said at the beginning, all the deposits up to 120 days before sailings are refundable. That's for a standard 7-day cruise.
Mhm.
So here, when you have an offer, I know right now you might be a little bit thinking about travel. Who doesn't right now? But
Right.
as I said, you can sell 2021, 2022, 2023. So if you see an amazing offer now at no risk because your deposit is refundable, why wouldn't you secure it and a little bit think later, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be on the other way around when finally, after a month of questioning yourself, you were like, oh my God, I want to go now, but ship is fully booked or the offer is no longer available, right?
Yeah.
Same concept if you go to a clothing stores during the sales. You've seen this blue shirt and you're like, oh, it's amazing. I'll come back tomorrow. But you missed that actually tomorrow it's over. You missed an
Yeah.
awesome opportunity.
Or it's
So
gone.
here you go. So here a snapshot of what we offer. That's limited time promotions. So for example, here we do have, I mentioned it already, some free or reduced air. So basically, this is located in Ontario, so that's why I mentioned Toronto, but we have as well offers from Canada departures in Vancouver and Montreal, if it's easier for you. Prices may be a little bit different, but we have offers for the free or several other departure airports in US. That's perfect if you live next to the border, for example. Maybe you don't mind driving to Detroit, right? If you're in Western Ontario, maybe you want to drive to Cleveland, maybe you want to drive to Los Angeles, Seattle, because you're close. So always on offer, right? But just a few examples, what it means for us, reduced or free air. So from Toronto, we have like flights to Athens, Amsterdam, Barcelona, Rome, Venice for $499 US. So that applies on the first and the second passengers. And Honolulu, $399. That's awesome.
Wow.
And Southampton, UK, Iceland, Panama City, New York, Miami, free. Not even taxes, zero.
Wow.
So that's an amazing offer. And you can combine them with an actual promotion we just have launched today. It's called Dash Sales. Depending of your cruise length and cabin category, you're going to secure free onboard credit. If you don't know, an onboard credit is an amount of money we will put into your onboard account that you can spend on board. You cannot get cash back out of that, right? It's not actual dollars you could spend outside the ship, but on board.
Yeah.
Spa, bars, restaurants,
Or
why
even
not?
photos.
Absolutely.
When you have, like a nice dress on, or when you're with your husband going on a date or your friends or whatever, the photographers are always
Absolutely.
walking around and it's really tempting to get a picture, and then, you have to buy the picture. So that's
Absolutely.
some
So
personal experience.
how it works, so I said depending of your, so those are all for 2021 departures. So think about next March break, why not? Or for example, next Christmas, next summer, just the next summer, next winter. Like for example, Alaska next summer, that qualifies. This is on all cruises for 2021 of 3 days and more. So here, for example, if you had a 7-day, typical 7-day cruise, so for a balcony stateroom, because believe me, when you're on a cruise, you want to see water when you wake up, it would be $200 US onboard credit on your account per cabin. If you go to the Haven, we talk about it, it's $1,000. You believe it? Up to $1,000. So that's awesome. And that's combinable with the free at sea. When you buy a package with the inclusions, even you have a bunch of things already included, yeah, I would easily spend $1,000 in a week at the spa. Believe me. No problem. Challenge
Oh yeah.
accepted. So now, actually, Ansley, we had a chat a couple of days ago, and I was like, Ansley, I think your clients would love to hear about what you love. We have a lot of itineraries, and I know maybe you would speak about a couple of them that you particularly like. So this is your time now.
Sure. Yeah. And if anyone has any questions about them, I'm just going to briefly talk, and then you can comment or email me after if you have any questions about what we're discussing. This is one of my favorite itineraries in general, and one that Norwegian has, because it goes from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and it goes to all of the really, really nice islands that you wouldn't normally get to go to, and would actually be quite pricey if you went there separately, or if you went there and did an all-inclusive. So this is what we call the Southern Caribbean. So it has the Curacao, Aruba, Bonaire, St. Lucia, and St. Kitts. So hands down, one of my favorite itineraries for the Caribbean.
I love it too. I love it too. This is great. like, you are close to Central America, good weather, culture as well, obviously. And that's a little bit out of beaten tracks. That's why I love that choice of yours. Because Curacao, like, especially if you like it, right, the blue, the blue one. And as you can see on this itinerary, you're 1 day at sea. One. That's it. So it's
Yeah, and I'm a big person. I like to see as much as I can, with all the time that I have. So that's another reason why I chose it. Good point there. So the next one that I chose is for Europe. This is one of my favorite itineraries because it's really kind of nice to get a little bit of everything that the Mediterranean has to offer without spending too much time there. And then it's really nice for honeymooners as well that want to get a little bit of a taste. Maybe they've never been to Europe. That's kind of the nice aspect of it too. So this one starts in Barcelona, and then I believe it goes back to Barcelona. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Barcelona.
Yeah.
So
Then you go to
I love
Italy,
it.
you put a bit of France, and the Mediterranean is so different from a lot of the other parts of Europe that this is definitely one of my favorite ones for sure.
I love it. I had the luck to go to every and each of your ports that actually you selected, and I love them. This is like obviously Spain, France, Italy. They are three very close but very different countries with all their different flavors, culture. Ports usually are extremely close to the actual city. Remember, it's the scale of Europe, so countries are very smaller, and distances as well are very smaller than what you can expect in North America. I experienced it the hard way when I moved to North America. So that's a great thing. You can have like a typical nice pizza in Naples. You can visit all those palazzi in Florence, in Cannes. You can have an actual French fancy dinner in Barcelona, the tapas next to the beach. It's just
Mhm.
beautiful. I totally agree. Now we have a special offer. So basically, we have decided, like, not only you remember Ernsley was talking, if you tag a friend and if you guys end up having a reservation made before the end of the year, she would get actually she gets some on board credits. Myself with Ansley, we have decided that if you would secure a new reservations before the end of the month, because we have awesome promotions running until the end of the month, you would get in addition for free a complimentary bottle of wine and chocolate covered strawberries delivered into your cabin during your stay.
Yes.
Free. That's complimentary from Ensley. And that is if you secure with just the deposit required before the
Yep.
end of the month. So the full
And it can
deposit
be
is
for
required.
cruising anytime, like this year, next year, year after. There's no cap on when we're putting it for people booking their cruises.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, of course, next step, it's time to pick up your phone or send a private message to Ansley or an email. You can have an informal chat with her. If you have questions, she would be very happy to answer. And of course, if there's something that needs to be reconfirmed, she's working with me. So she would get very fast answers for you, right?
Yep, for sure. And just one thing to recap, thanks everyone for listening, whether you're listening live now or whether you watch the video later. The tagging of a friend in the comments can be at any time. So even if you watch the video 5 days from now, you can still just make a comment for yourself and then any friends that you want to tag, and then the gift certificates will be given to both of you if you do book, and that's for at any time, and there's no special cap on that one. And then I will be able to track it, and I'll know who you are. I'll know that you watched the video. Well, thank
Brilliant.
you
So
so much for
thank
joining
you.
us, Cindy. I really appreciate it. That was a lot of good information. And if anyone, of course, has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you have any questions for Cindy, reach out to me and I can ask Cindy as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. I hope to welcome you on board very, very soon. You're going to have a blast. All right. So
Okay.
stay home for now, but soon you will be back on vacation. So get ready for it. We all want
Yes.
to have our next vacation booked. So think
Yeah.
about it already. No risk. And thank you again for coming.
Okay. Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.